and the car dropped onto the skids, went into the wall, totally destroyed the car, broke the gearbox in half.
Wow.
Ripped everything apart.
Welcome to Startup Hype. I'm your host, Nick Rabaudo, and we're here with Tazio Ottis. So excited to have you. Thanks for joining us. So give us a quick rundown about yourself, your brand, your businesses. Love to hear about it.
My dad and I own a restoration shop that specializes in international award-winning Ferrari restorations. We do that for concourse and the track. And then I'm also a professional race car driver that started his own race team 3 years ago now.
That's so exciting. So started your own race team. Tell us a little bit about what that means. I don't even know what it means to own a race team.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, I'll tell you that much. I was making really good strides with my racing career, but at a certain point, I was trying to figure out a way to continue that. And what became the most viable way to continue that progression was starting my own team and bringing my own car to the racetrack.
Wow, okay, so that's a lot going on all at once. Owner of a restoration shop, so
Yep.
a lot to manage there.
Yep.
Race car driver yourself, meaning you're going out on the track and racing.
Right.
And then owner of a team with other racers racing your car and cars on the track.
Yeah.
How do you manage all of that? Like, how do you manage priorities and everything all at once?
Yeah, a lot of mental fitness helps. I really love every aspect of it too, so that is a big part of it. You know, when you can go into each aspect of your life really happy and motivated to do the best you possibly can, you typically get a really good result. I'm really happy with the racing we're doing. I'm really happy as a driver of what I'm able to do on the racetrack, and I enjoy working on the cars we work on here at the shop.
Wow, okay, so all these things are passions of yours, personal lifestyle choices that you've turned into businesses and made a life out of it. That's pretty awesome. So give me a little bit of personal background then. Like, how did you get into all of this?
I went to school in Berkeley growing up, and I came to the shop here after school every day. I'd asked my dad to give me pieces of scrap metal or cardboard to build my own car and make a little soapbox derby thing or whatever I could. And I grew up watching every race I possibly could as a kid too. So as far back as I can remember, I just was obsessed with it, and I just haven't deviated since.
Wow, so truly a lifestyle from the beginning, and there's a lot of passion and love wrapped into there.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit about how you were able to take those passions and your lifestyle and actually turn it into business ventures.
As a kid, when you look at racing, it's pretty much just the competition aspect of it. When I grew up go-karting, it was like, how can I beat that other kid in that go-kart and be the best kid here? As you get older and you want to continue this and you want to get into real race cars and you want to actually pursue it as a career, you realize you need to start having sponsors pay you, not just pay for the racing. And you have to start making it a business in order to be successful for the rest of your life. So that's where, I started really working on understanding what sponsorship was, what money was, what running a business was, and what ultimately led me to starting my own team and making that a career in business so I could make it sustainable.
Wow, that's a perfect example of taking your passions and your lifestyle and actually turning it into a successful business and being able to enjoy the racing aspect of it through and through. From an entrepreneurial experience, I'd love to hear from your perspective what you think makes a successful entrepreneur.
I think that core of it needs to still maintain doing what you love. I think you're going to be able to put the most energy into something if you really love what you're doing. After that, it's pretty much just doing a little bit of the hard stuff of making it make sense, making it make money, and making it sustainable. But all that should be pretty easy as long as you love what you do.
So start with love, start with passion, go from there. I've
so.
heard a lot of people share this sentiment of if you do what you love and you work hard, you'll be successful.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing a lot of that through it as well.
Yep.
And you mentioned the hard times, and that kind of makes me think of failure, right?
Yep.
So I want to talk about that for a moment and ask you to tell us a time about where you really had to experience failure and what you learned from that, how you overcame it.
Yeah, I could go on for days about failure. Pretty much anything relating to racing involves a ton of failure. I was racing at a street race in Canada, really cool event. It was in the rain, it was qualifying. We had a really fast car, and the car dropped onto the skids, went into the wall, totally destroyed the car, broke the gearbox in half, ripped everything apart. A huge failure for the team. And I remember the team worked through the night, and I bought 15 pizzas for the crew. We riveted the floor back together with cookie sheets. just to get the car on grid the next day, which was, for a professional program, kind of a wild thing. And I think again, the takeaway is we just never gave up, even though failure was so present, and it will always be present. It's always going to happen. It's going to happen again and again for us, but it's what you do to get through it.
Yeah, and I really appreciate the out-of-the-box thinking that you had to do there as well. I mean,
yeah.
part of learning from your failures is that immediate runtime flexibility, if you will, particularly in racing. Something happens the day before, you got to be ready the next day, and you guys made it happen.
Yeah.
So fail forward.
Yep.
and keep driving. What I'd love to hear is, in those types of scenarios, whether it's just before a race, maybe it's after a big failure like that, or maybe it's just in life, like what's a inspirational quote, motto, or saying that you always go back to for that motivation or inspiration that you need?
I was really lucky to meet an amazing mental coach that I've done a lot of work with. What he always taught us to do was just focus on the process. No matter what, I kind of go back to that. It's like, focus on the process, the results will come. There's always going to be factors out of your control, but if you put your best A game that you can in, you're going to have the best result in the end.
So that right there is what you always think about. I love it, because that's so relatable to all of life too,
Sure.
Not only in racing, but I feel like you can extract and learn so much from racing and owning a race team and being responsible for these things, and take that into personal life and any type of business as well. Talking about business a little bit, what I want to ask is, things that you take from your experiences in your current business and how that can translate to entrepreneurship in general. So what are some major lessons learned that you have from that?
If you go back to doing what you love, you'll find a way to make it work and make you money. We love vintage Ferraris. We have our own that we raced at Monaco, that we won Pebble Beach with, that we won countless shows with. That's brought in a lot of work for people that want to do exactly the same. Right? So that's a core principle of what we love. I really love racing. I've been a successful race car driver myself. It's brought people around me that want to do that too, that want to spend money with me in order to do that and live vicariously and or be part of that. That's made me money as well. So if you go back to what you love, you do a really good job with it yourself, the rest will come.
I love that. So I'd love to hear, what is next for Tazio Ottis? Tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to for your brand and your racing career.
Yeah, last time I checked, I'm 27 years old, so I feel like there's still a lot out there. We're so busy at the shop here. I really look forward to doing some more special projects. We did a Series 2 GTO. They only made 4 of those. It's a $50+ million car a couple years ago at Pebble Beach. And we won our class there, and it's continued to win awards. So more projects like that with these cars that have really significant history is very, very cool, and I want to be a part of. In terms of racing, there's a lot to conquer there left. Luckily, I get to do some pretty special racing here domestically and also internationally. But if we can make those events bigger and more badder, if that's a word.
Bigger and badder.
Bigger and badder, that's what we want to do.
Yeah, well, I've seen a lot of hardware all around the shop from your race victories, so to say you still have so much to conquer is a big feat.
We're missing a little bit over there.
Okay, so you have some goals, you have some targets in mind.
Yeah, there's some bigger ones that we need to get.
So with all of that said, what is your takeaway message for everyone watching? What do you want to leave us with?
Stick to what you love, follow your passion. As long as you put all your energy into that, people will take account of it, they'll follow you on that, and they'll help grow you, and it's going to be the fastest way to success.
Well, you heard it here. Follow your passions and do what you love, and you'll be successful. Really appreciate you joining us, Tazio. It's been an absolute pleasure. And for everyone watching, follow for more entrepreneurial content like this, and don't forget to stay inspired, stay motivated, stay hyped. This is Startup Hype. We'll see you next time.